Joining us to answer some of those questions is a portfolio manager who was looking to buy J.Crew shares before they rallied in late November following the bid by TPG and Leonard Green. David Abella says the stock then got too expensive after that. He's a portfolio manager at Rochdale Investment Management. Julie poses a number of good questions. One of them I was thinking as I was reading the story for the first time today, why would Mickey Drexler even bother selling to TPG, going private again, if he's doing so well with the company?
Well, that's a very good question, and especially considering the price was maybe not as high as investors would have liked. But being private for a while can take some of the heat of the market off of your back as you continue build up a turnaround story, rebuild the image to back where it was a few years ago. Is
there a perception that he's doing TPG a favor since they put him there in the first place?
Well, you read about that, and who knows whether or not how much of that plays into it. But certainly, private equity, they can be tough bosses. But on the other hand, you don't have the market, the quarter why didn't you beat earnings this quarter, that quarter? You have a little more time to pull the business through.
David, you were thinking about buying J.Crew before that bid by TPG. What is it that you like about J.Crew?
Well, we had always watched J.Crew, and it was always an overpriced stock, really, and it hit a rough patch last year, and it was way off its high from the late spring. So when we were looking at it, it was a 16 times multiple. It was cheaper than other teen apparel companies, but it had been well run in the past, and they were, we believe, going to make an effort to repair the image and the brand and the marketing, and thought, hey, we don't have price targets per se, but we thought 42 was a reasonable one-year target. So when it came out at 43.50, it was like just we missed it really by that much, and that's the nature of the business.
Hey, David, what about in terms of a potential combination with one of these other retailers here? Does it make sense for an Urban Outfitters or for Sears to come in and buy J.Crew?
Well, from my point of view, I don't see any sense in the Sears. I just don't get that.
It's a weird connection, isn't it?
It doesn't make sense in terms of how the brands all stack together. Plus, it seems like Sears already has its challenges with existing brands. I know other analysts don't like the Urban Outfitter combination either, thinking there's going to be a clash of cultures. But Urban Outfitters is very well run and has 17 operating margins versus J.Crew's 13 operating margins. Plus, they've been more consistent. So maybe, in the minds of Urban Outfitters, they could run it better.
I wonder about how much is Mickey Drexler responsible for the success of J.Crew as far as consumers liking the clothing? I mean, it still is the same kind of preppy, cool clothing that it was when I was in high school. Other than the fact that Michelle Obama is wearing more of their stuff, I can't see the difference.
But it's not so preppy. It's gotten really stylish, too.
That's because preppy has gotten very stylish.
Well, certainly a little more stylish. I mean, he has a long track record from the Gap as well. I think if you look at his overall career, he's had more hits and misses. He definitely has had some rough patches too. But I think he's responsible for a lot of the image. You go just not too far from here to the Rockefeller Center. Very nice store, always crowded. It definitely a little bit more. When I was in college, I got J.Crew, and it was all Rugby's back then.
And there's other brands under J.Crew as well.
That's right. But even the flagship J.Crew is I would say, trendier than it has been.
What do you think is going to happen here? All right, so you've got TPG out there. There's talk of possibly Sears and Urban Outfitters. Is it just a matter of time? There were so many retail deals done last year, David. Just a matter of time before J.Crew is taken out, in your view?
Well, my understanding is January 15th is the deadline for the bids to come in.
That's the go shop period.
Right.
That's right. At 16 times earnings, J.Crew was a great deal. Now at 43.50, you're talking 19 times earnings. I think they're getting a fair price, but they're certainly not. It's not cheap like some investors are saying. So I don't know how much higher J.Crew can really go. You take it to 20 times earnings, 2 times price to sales. You're getting a little bit higher, 8% higher, but that's you're splitting hairs. I don't see it another 15–20% as being realistically in the valuation, but I don't know what people pay right now.
Right, but we're kind of in the territory, is what you think.
Maybe if they went back to making the Rugbies and more flannel-lined khakis, then
oh no,
that's right.
David,
we could shop there.
Exactly. David Abella from Rochdale Securities.